Hello and welcome. We're going to talk about Aladdin lamps today. Let me clear some off the table here. Aladdin lamps, there's so many different types of Aladdins. Let me just clear some off here a little bit. I'll be able to talk to you. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if anyone is familiar with the Aladdin lamp, but it is an incredible lamp, like none other out here. These are tremendous. You want something that uses no electricity at all, that is quiet, and more importantly, it gives you the light of a 50-watt light bulb. That is what the Aladdin lamp is, like no other lamp ever made. The burners are huge. Look at the kind of burners that this thing uses. That is the burner. And that is incredible. That brings a lot of air. Look at that wick. The only one is a round wick. That wick is round, not square. Let me get a wick here. Okay, here's a wick. Take a look at the wick. Look at the roundness of that. Now let me get it close up there. That wick is completely round and not like the little ones. The back part would be like a regular one. And that will give you a lot of light. And it's tremendous. And that's what's in each of these lamps inside that burner. And of course there is the burner left knob here that brings it up and down. And that takes it down or up. You light both sides of it and it makes a huge flame. But more importantly, you have not just the wick, you have this, okay? This is the mantle. That's a Lexan mantle, meaning that it'll slide right on very easily. Now the mantle is what gives you the light bulb effect, the 50 watts. And when that's inside, that will be 50 watts. You can see here, there is that mantle right in place. Notice how I just lift this off so easily. And I could light it. I would light it on both sides and just put it back on and put it up a little bit. I want a blue flame. I want it low enough to be a blue flame. It'll burn completely. You won't have any residue. You don't see black shades. You don't get the odor and all that fumes like you do in a regular one because it burns so completely. That's very important when you have an oil lamp. So imagine a 50-watt light bulb. No electricity. Just an amazing piece. All kinds. That's a 12 here. This was from the 1920s into the 30s, during around the Depression time, 1929 to 35. And these predate. Here's one from 1914, 15. That's what's on the knob. And every knob has the Aladdin on it. You can see that closely. I can pull it up there. But they're beautiful. The lamps are beautiful. They're collector's items too, by the way. Some of these bring tremendous amounts of money because here's a brass one. This is the 23. This came out around the 60s. And it's a beautiful, gorgeous lamp. You know what the great thing about Aladdin is? They still make them. You can still get this. You can still get the wicks. You can still get burners. Matter of fact, they got the Max Bright 500 out right now. It is their newest burner, and it fits a lot of these. So if you can get the font, these are the fonts. Get your font, get your shade and your globe, and get a Max Bright 500 from the company, and you got the latest and greatest machine out there. So that's the great thing about these. Now these are meant that you do not leave the room after you light them. And they'll also give 12,000 BTUs of heat. So that's why you want to be careful with them. You don't want them knocked over, but they're hard to knock over. You can see they're very firm. They've got a good solid base to them. But still you don't want to leave the room without turning them off. When you leave the room, use some later. Let's say you have a power outage, okay? Now, what are you going to do? These are for the roof, okay? You get one of these. This will go to the bathroom with, things like that. You sure wouldn't carry one of those around. But it's got a 1/8 inch wick, okay? And that's so much safer than any candle. Look at that. Something like that is what you want if the power goes out. And you could go to the bathroom And then you could set it by your Aladdin lamp in the room, give you a little light. Then when you want to read and stuff and you're in the room, then you turn on your Aladdins. Then when you leave the room, you go out. I would leave one of these here and take one with me because if you have no power, it's going to be pitch dark and you're going to need some light. So that would make life, these don't give off much fumes, and you can run them all night. They hardly take any oil. So it's just a perfect thing to have in your home. And as you can see, it's all enclosed, something you don't have with a candle. Much, much safer than a candle. Now, when you go outside, this Dietz is a perfect one to go outside with. Let me get that squared up under there. The Dietz, this is from the early 1900s here. But when you go outside, these are great. The air comes up here. These are made for air. These were invented back in the 1800s. But that's what you go outside with, okay? You don't take your Aladdins outside. And of course, you wouldn't. This would be a little too small to outside. But it's good for going to the bathroom, giving you enough light. So really, you should have 3 different oil lamps. Now, I recommend anytime you use the Aladdin oil, okay? They have a special one. You can't smell it. It is just incredible. It burns completely. It's just phenomenal. So if you like not having smell and you want something that burns completely, this is some really good. I really recommend this. You can get it at different places online, and if you get the right place, you can even get free shipping, okay? So that is the Aladdin. I hope you enjoyed the little time we shared. But I wanted to read something real quickly about the Aladdin lamp, okay? And that is that it burns 94% air. It will beat electric or gas. This is written around in early 1900s, very early 1900s. I just want to read this. A new oil lamp that gives an amazing, brilliant, soft white light, even better than gas or electricity, has been tested by the U.S. government and 35 leading universities and found to be superior to 10 ordinary oil lamps. It burns without odor, smoke, or noise. No pumping up. Is simple, clean, safe. Burns 94% air, 6% common kerosene. Now we use the oils, of course. We wouldn't want to use paraffin in them. That would clog it up. So we can use K1, or this Clean Strip brand. This is an additive for Clean Strip, and you can use that in the K1. So you only use K1 or Aladdin in the oil lamps. You really don't want to use anything else. And be careful what is underneath. Like if I'm lighting this, I would have it under a light fixture or something like that for the heat. I wouldn't direct it. It get a lot of heat there. When I first did mine the first time, I reached over, and guess what? 12,000 BTUs, you can imagine what happened. My hair caught fire. So you don't want that to happen, okay? You be very cautious about this. But it only goes up 3 feet, so you get heat out for 3 feet. Now in the summertime, of course, you're going to have heat. You wouldn't burn it as long, but when you're reading and stuff, and have plenty of air going through, you want little air. So these suck air, these use air, especially like the 12s. They will use a lot of air because it pulls the air up, and it's a draft model. The 23 is more of a closed model, it gets its air a little differently. But I think you're going to enjoy Aladdin. I think everyone should have one. Should have 3 different types of oil lamps. My suggestion is have batteries. Have light for batteries in case of power outages. Secondly, have some solar lights that charge in the day. You can get some that you can even hang up in your basement at night, okay? Charge them in the day, bring them in the basement at night. Charge them in the day outside, bring them in for night. And then thirdly, you want to have your 3 oil lamps. The one with the tiny little wick, the 1/8 inch, the one to use outside, the easy carry, okay, like the Dietz here. Okay, this is actually a railroad lamp. We've got the red, but it works just fine for going outside. And then inside, you got to have an Aladdin so you can read and do all the things you couldn't do with an ordinary oil lamp. Because an ordinary oil lamp would be impossible to read with unless you had 10 or 12 of them burning. With Aladdin, you have the equivalent of about 10. Everything's easy to get. You can still get every part you need for them. The company's still in business, thank God. We got authorized distributors everywhere. You can go online, eBay, Etsy, everywhere. You can find these lamps everywhere. Some people like to build their own, and some people like to buy them all complete. I personally built every one of these. I bought each apart, different parts, and I put them together. Made sure that the 6 and the 3s and the different years were correct. But it's a lot of fun, and they're collectors. This one, by the way, we know the value of it. Some things are as much as $350 each. Some are a little higher and some a little lower. But you can actually get some starting at a little under $100. But depending on where you go and how you get them, some people find them at really bargain prices. So wherever you get them, I recommend you do get one. Be prepared, be ready, be a prepper. Get started if you're not, and enjoy. And if you enjoyed this, please give us a thumbs up and a like on our video. And if you can subscribe, please do. And anybody that rings a bell, we really appreciate you. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.